Hi everyone, I'm going to continue the series of the famous Sephardi Rabbanim here on Shvat, 20th of Shvat. It's a hilul of a great rabbi from Khalab in Syria. His name was Rabbi Ovadia Hedaya. He was born towards the end of the 19th century in the year 1889, in December precisely, and passed away in the year 1969, February 1969, on the 20th of Shvat. He would actually, interestingly, become a famous judge, a Diyan, a Mukubal, a Kabbalist. He would write colossal Torah works. He would become the Rosh Yeshiva of the famous Yeshivat Mekubalim, Yeshivat Bet El. He was part of the Khaver, Mouatzot, Rabbanut, Harishit, also, which is a very prominent position. He was part of the Bet Adin, Rabbi Agdol, also, and was a head Sephardi rabbi in the Israeli city of Petach Tikva. So he was born in Khalab and also came from great heritage. His father was Rabbi Shalom Hodaya, who I did a video on only about a year ago when it was his Hilula, also one of the great rabbis also of Syria. And also, interesting enough, on both sides, there were a lot of great Rabbanim also. And Sarah Bet Levton, also, what's interesting was his great-grandfather was Rabbi Chaim Mordechai Levton, also, who was rabbi of the city in Syria also. And while he was a young child, he actually moved to Israel with his family. They traveled and made their way from Syria to Israel, and he was educated in Talmud Torah called Doresh Tzion, and later on the Chesed Abraham, and then moved later on to Tzferet Yerushalayim also. Interesting enough, he had great Rabbanim were teaching him, including Rabbi Shalom Bochbot, very, very great rabbi in Israel, also Rabbi Yitzchak Sharim, and also Rabbi Yitzchak Alfia, another great rabbi, a Kabbalist, who I believe I did a video on about a year and a half ago from the time of recording this. And while learning in all these prestigious yeshivot, he would actually get married at the end to, I believe it was a relative actually of one of the teachers that was teaching him. It was actually, her name was Tzalcha, Rabbanit Tzalcha, who was, I think, the daughter of Harav Ezra Sharim, also, who was a very, very great rabbi. And later on, he would move and he would teach in the famous Yeshivat Porat Yosef, which I've spoken about many times before inside the videos. Porat Yosef had many, many great Rabbanim, including Rabbi Ovadia Yosef, Rabbi Ezra Atiyah, also over there. And he was very much part of it. He was appointed rabbi in a prominent position there. And also, he was active in the Yeshivat Oz V'Hadar, which was also operated within the framework of Yeshivat Porat Yosef also. And he would become a Diyan also, which was interesting enough. He became a very, very prominent Diyan also, and he would actually serve as a judge in the city of Petach Tikva later on, where he would become a head Sephardi rabbi over there, chief rabbi of Petach Tikva, and later on would actually be appointed the head of the Yeshivat Bet El also, which was very, very prominent yeshiva. Remember, many of the great rabbis actually came from the famous yeshivat Bet El also. That was interesting enough. At one stage also, he would receive a prize from Rabbi Cook, a special prize over there. And he passed away in the English year 1969. He passed away in, I believe it was in the month of December, it was around February 1969, he would pass away and was buried in Jerusalem also. He wrote many, many great books also. I'll name a list of some of the colossal works. He did a shut on Yishkal Abdi, which was Sefer on the Shmona Kerechim also, which had 8 halakim, actually, interesting enough, towards it. There was shut there, Vaskel also. There was a Vikach Abdeho. There was also the Avda the Rabbanan, the Evet HaMelech also, which was Chidushim on the Rambam, the Shalom Abdo, which is Drushim on the Torah, also the V'dava Shalom. This was another thing, another great shut that was written also. And Shnei Prakim Achronim Mitoch Lebeit Avot, which was also another Perush on Mesachet Avot, also the Pirkei Avot, which very much is recommended, and Simchat Kohen, also among many, many other works over here. So now let's go through more of his biography of the great Chacham, because if you just look at some of the Talmidim he had also, let's look at some of the Talmidim. Rabbi Meir Yehuda Gatz Also, Rav Mordechai Eliyahu was one of his Talmidim. Also, these are great rabbis. He was also a chief rabbi of Israel at one stage of time. His Rabbonim, who I mentioned before, was Rabbi Shalom Buchbot, Rabbi Yitzchak Sharim, also Rabbi Yitzchak Alfia, and Rabbi Shalom Hadaya. Also, interesting enough, also he wrote many of these books. Chacham Shalom Hadaya was his father, also one of the great rabbis, also from Syria, also. And he actually won the prize which I was speaking about from, I think it was connected to Rav Kook. He was awarded in the year 1968. He was buried in Har HaMenuchot. And in the Chalab in Syria at the time, there was a very, very great Torah community at that stage in time. There was before obviously he moved to Israel. It was many of the great rabbis who I've done videos on at the time. But there's actually a famous picture of the great rabbi also as part of a judge, I believe, also along with Rabbi Yaakov Ades also, which very much is very, very well circulated at different times. He corresponded with many of the great rabbis all throughout his time while he was in Israel. And at later stage, he was actually appointed part of the great rabbinical court in Jerusalem. Also, he ran the office. So he was also the chief rabbi. He was a head rabbi of the famous Kabbalistic yeshiva of Yeshivat Bet El. I believe this Yeshivat Bet El, great yeshiva, was also the yeshiva where many of the great rabbanim, including Rabbi Mordechai Shrabi, Rabbi also attended and taught in that specific yeshiva also. And the Yeshivat Bet El was re-established at different stages in times and moved through different neighborhoods in Jerusalem also. And very, very much interesting. It's going to be his Hilula over here. It's going to be here on Chav Shvat over here we are today at the time. And he also left great descendants also, including Rabbi Shalom Mordechai Haim Hadaya, who succeeded him later on as head of the Kabbalistic yeshiva, Yeshivat Bet El. Also, there was a collection named after him and it's kept actually inside the National Library. I believe that is based in Jerusalem also. The National Library is, and a very, very famous library also. And there's different areas. There's inside the Nachlaot neighborhood in Jerusalem, there's a street named after him. And also in the Hadar Ganim neighborhood of Petach Tikva, I believe there's also a street named after him also. So he had many prominent positions and one of the great rabbis of Israeli Syrian history also is his Hilula. Please do not forget to light candles, must light candles in his memory. And he did many other different works within regards to which was connected to the Medinat Israel, the state of Israel. Also, he has many opinions given over. He wrote a lot within regards to that also. So please light candles in memory, and it's his Hilula today. And please watch over all the previous videos of all different great Sephardi Rabbanim of yesteryear. This is already nearly about 140 videos, so please keep it up, and let's just see brachot in Israel.